I don't have enough money for Taco Bell, but what I do have pleases me greatly. This is the complete Book of Dwarves for the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons second edition. So, the first part of the book explains the creation of the world from the dwarves' point of view and the myths and everything about how the gods came to be. There's some things that I agree with. There's some things that I disagree with. But the first part of the book is very interesting. In chapter 2, we learn about the different races or types of dwarves: hill dwarves, deep dwarves, mountain dwarves, sunder dwarves, duergar, grave dwarves, and gully dwarves. The next thing we learn about is dwarf clans. They usually gather around a king or lord, and dwarves tend to think inwards, mostly wanting to take care of their own kind because dwarves have a little bit of trouble having children. They're slower than some of the other races. They talk about their emotions, attitudes toward other races. In other words, very untrustworthy of elves and humans, and but they know to have some fun in their lives. It talks about the ability scores of the various races of dwarves, and then it goes right into some of the abilities and powers that the dwarves might have. I'm looking for the classes. There is a lot of fluff in this book. I'm not going to say otherwise. Wow. Okay, here we go. We got warrior kits, axe for hire. The Battle Rager comes from the Drizzt novels. I forget the Pennington something Puent. I don't know. But you've got all sorts of priest kits as well. The dwarves tend to do well when it comes to priests as well as thieves. There are kits for the thieves. One final note, there is a huge battle axe, but I recommend that it's two-handed for the dwarves. There's locksmith, pest controller. A warrior thief kit would be ghetto fighter. The wayfinder. Dwarven personalities. Get lost. A lot of people like playing them grumpy, but they don't have to be that way. Let's see. There's a whole section on mining, which makes sense for dwarves. Here you go. You've got this gentleman here prospecting up in some mountain range with his trusty pony or mule. I try making this under 3 minutes, but I just enjoy this book a lot. It talks about how metal is smelted and made. Talks about their strongholds. Usually they revolve around mining or digging for some other substance. There might be other reasons to have a stronghold. There's a great illustration there. They do build lots of devices. I'm going to say similar to gnomes, which seem idiotic at times, but for dwarves, if they build something, generally it's going to work and it's going to be devastating to their enemies. The book talks about creating a history for designing dwarf campaigns, something that I have not done yet, but maybe someday we could do that. Um, It'll be funny because I believe that dwarven females also have a smaller beard, whether it's just a tuft or just a slimmer beard that's more down the middle. Um, Dwarf versus dwarf, usually they're settled in some way. Dwarves know that killing other dwarves is never a good thing, but there are dwarven criminals, just like every other race. There's criminals. It's a great picture. This was on a Forgotten Realms product. Finally, I just want to talk to you about this item here called a two-handed battle axe. I think it's a little bit too much. And when I run the campaign, I think it should be 1 die 10 for small and medium, and 1 die 10 for large creatures as well. 2 die 8 is a little bit ridiculous, but that's just how I feel. Especially if the weapon holder is not a high enough strength to possibly even carry the thing. So that's my whole thing on dwarves. I hope you enjoyed it, and this book, hopefully it's in reprint right now. I don't know. Hopefully you can find one. It's interesting, especially if you really like dwarves. Otherwise, Unearthed Arcana has the gods for the dwarves in it in better detail. And even before that, there's an issue of Dragon that's probably very hard to find. You'd probably have to pay $15-$20 for it. That has everything you want to know about dwarven gods in it, which is, of course, the basis for the Unearthed Arcana pages. All right, have a great day.